All teachers, at some point during their careers, ask themselves the question, why do I teach? In this video, higher education academics from around the world share their reflections on this question.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashton Iyer, and I'm a professor at the University of Alberta Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. I'd like to begin by thanking Professor Krishnasmy Salvin for his kind invitation to participate in this wonderful seminar series on why we teach. I'm honored. Today, I'll be providing a few personal perspectives which have worked for me and which I hope could be useful to others. I believe that an effective learning environment, particularly in engineering, is one in which educators engage themselves continuously in learning how best to teach, and that the natural result of this process is teaching their students how best to learn. This premise has helped me to establish my goals as a teacher and as an advisor to my graduate students. I make my best effort to commit myself to the needs of my students. For example, I make it a point to dynamically refine my teaching methods based on student performance and feedback, whether by formal surveys or informal chats after lectures or during office hours. I think one of the best things an instructor can do is to genuinely care for their students' progress and to build trust with them. Enthusiasm and passion are indeed infectious. I try to employ my own passion for the subject as a tool to inspire students and counteract their natural aversion to highly abstract, mathematical, or physics-oriented subjects. I'm not satisfied to impart a merely superficial knowledge of facts, theories, techniques, and tools. Instead, I try to locate and reveal the inherent intrigue in these elements and imbue them with physical meaning as a means to foster an engineering intuition. In doing so, I hope to equip my students for a lifetime of discovery through self-teaching. So why do I think we teach? I believe that we're compelled to teach for two principal reasons. The first is our love for the science and application of electromagnetics. And the second is because we feel, perhaps subconsciously, that the knowledge imparted to us does not belong to us, and that it loses its value if contained. It is our responsibility to pass it on with fidelity and authenticity. My teaching approach begins with establishing personal expectations of my students that cautiously push the boundaries of the syllabus by way of challenging problems, extra credit assignments, design projects, and class discussions, but which respect the goals of the syllabus firmly during testing and examination. I also provide an open door policy giving students ample guidance and support. I enjoy designing customized teaching strategies that constantly engage my students, not only by employing their strengths, but also by creating an awareness of their weaknesses to enable anticipation and self-correction in the future. These include the ample use of thought experiments, providing multiple perspectives and physical arguments for abstract concepts, integrating competitive design into course delivery, and setting up impromptu tours of our research facilities, or handing out published papers that are currently generating interest or controversy in electromagnetics, or organizing career-focused seminars by invited guests from industry. Earlier, I suggested that we are compelled to teach by the sense of responsibility that comes with gaining knowledge. For me, a major factor in this sentiment is the immense impact that great teachers have had in all aspects of my life, both in engineering and in my extracurricular activities. Also included among our great teachers are the great scientists, mathematicians, and philosophers that came before us, from whom we inherit this profound knowledge, and to whom we owe a great debt of respect and gratitude. I think it is very important to inculcate in our students this same sense of respect and gratitude so that our students may one day themselves become great teachers. I thank you all for your attention and once again thank Professor Krishnasmy Selvan for putting together this series.
I am Shripat Karmalgar. I am a professor of electrical engineering. I also happen to be the head of the Teaching Learning Center at Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, India. I am very pleased to share my thoughts on why I teach. Many years ago, on the first page of the National Education Policy document of India, it was written, "No nation can rise above the level of its teachers." Another quote says, that it is not the gun, but the hands behind the gun which win the war. No, it is not the hands behind the gun, but spirit in man which wins the war. Putting these two ideas together, we can infer that to raise the level of a nation, shaping minds is as important as building material facilities. So why do I teach? I teach to shape minds. By shaping minds, I do not mean creating photocopies of myself. Rather, I mean nurturing originality, open-mindedness and integrity in the students. As per the quote, follow no one, but learn from everyone and acknowledge it too. Shaping also means developing the knowledge, skills and attitudes of students to solve practical problems encountered in professional and personal lives. I shape minds by sharing my enthusiasm and expertise by means of conducting classes, guiding MS and PhD research students towards their research degree, counseling BTech and MTech students in their academic and non-academic matters, and advising socio-cultural student groups. While conducting classes, I strive to remove any fear students may have about the subject, dispel confusions and misperceptions. Moreover, I strive to bring about intellectual clarity and arouse curiosity and answer questions and doubts. This I try to achieve through lucid explanations, posing good quality problems, and providing the students ample feedback on their performance on these problems. While guiding research students, I strive to develop them as independent thinkers rather than efficient research assistants. Moreover, I try to enhance their critical and creative thinking skills, oral and written communication skills, experimental skills, and interpersonal time and resource management skills. And how do I achieve this? I involve students in activities such as reading papers, reviewing papers, making presentations, discussing various approaches of solving problems, and also how to choose a good research problem. And when they do these activities, I give them ample feedback on how they can improve. While counseling students, I help them explore and decide among options, help them understand themselves better and evolve strategies to deal with problems which they might face. As advisor to socio-cultural groups, I help the students discover their talents and maintain quality and order in their activities. Finally, I teach because it helps me increase my research output. Now you might wonder how. Well, teaching improves my own understanding of the subject. Good teaching attracts good research scholars. Stimulating questions from students seed research ideas, and teaching activities and new students every semester break the monotony of concentrating on a research idea for a long time. Further, close interactions with a variety of students over time improves my understanding of human nature and makes me a better human being. Finally, seeing myself and young minds grow during teaching is very satisfying and joyful. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge Professor Selvan for providing me this opportunity.
I'm Carl Warnick. I'm a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Brigham Young University. Why I teach? Well, there's some basic and obvious reasons why I teach. I'm really excited about my discipline and its body of ideas, and I enjoy sharing those ideas with other people. Teaching is a job. It allows me to provide for my needs and support a family, which for me is very important. Teaching gives me a sense of satisfaction. It's energizing to interact with motivated students. And sometimes it's just fun to have an audience. But the pointed nature of the question why I teach motivates me to try to look for a deeper context. My university is sponsored by a religious organization, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. One of our organizational maxims is that our purpose as people is to have joy. Now, life is challenging in many ways, and it's not always easy to be happy when things are hard, but stretching ourselves and overcoming difficult challenges can often bring real joy. I believe that learning is part of the purpose of life. No matter how old or young we are, we can always stretch and learn new things and improve ourselves. There's an infinite amount of knowledge available in the world. It takes effort to learn, but the reward is a sense of joy that's hard to find in any other way. So, in the end, that's why I teach, because teaching is a part of learning, and making the effort to learn brings joy.
I am Krishnasmy Selvan, a professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, SSN College of Engineering, India. Reflecting on my goals as a teacher, I think I can state two sets of goals. One is a set of specific goals, another is a set of broader educational goals. Under specific goals, the primary thing is to help students understand and appreciate the subject I teach. And of course, if I am able to help them reach the next level of getting excited about the subject, that brings about significant joy to teaching. And there is also the long-term objective of contributing to the development of researchers and engineers who will continue to contribute, make quality contributions to the field in order to nourish it. So these are the specific goals. And as regards broader educational goals, which are equally important, one is to help students develop intellectual passion in their pursuits. Secondly, to contribute to the development of reflective and lifelong learners. Of course, the first and second aspects are related. And perhaps more importantly, to help them become enthusiastic individuals who cherish the activities they undertake. So in the classroom, for example, assignment or a project or a presentation. And so I would like them to take them up with enthusiasm. So some aspects of the approach that I follow that could possibly facilitate attainment of some of these goals are as follows. One is to be a continuous learner myself, and then to continually reflect on ways of improved delivery. And very important, to be enthusiastic in the class no matter what. Okay, that's quite challenging because, of course, all of us have our moments of low, and then all of us, undergo moments of demotivation. So what I do is I make efforts to recover when I am demotivated as quickly as possible by taking recourse to faith. So that I get back to normal enthusiastic self in my own interest as well as in that of my students. So when I expect my students to be enthusiastic, obviously I need to set an example to them. And what are the beliefs that reasonably keep me inspired as a teacher? One is the belief that education is vital, and effective teaching being at its center is in turn vital. And good teaching is, of course, very valuable to society, not only in direct ways, but also in indirect ways. And educators shape the futures of young people. I think these are broadly and briefly what constitutes my approach to teaching. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Professor Kushnapul Karni from Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Bombay. Today, I am going to share my thoughts on teaching. That is what excites and inspires me to teach. Why I teach? Teaching, of course, is a very noble profession. Teacher-student relationship is a sacred one since ancient times. For example, in ancient India, Gurukul system existed in which Guru, that is teacher, imparted knowledge to Shishya, that is disciple. Teaching should be passion and one should not be teacher by compulsion. A teacher should always remember that apart from imparting knowledge, students' thoughts and attitude towards life can be positively influenced. A teacher should be in the mode of continuous learning and should not have arrogant I know everything attitude. Why should I teach? What are the advantages of teaching? A teacher can derive immense satisfaction by making a lasting and positive impact on students and society. As said earlier, the learning never stops if we have the right learner attitude. I try to anticipate all questions from students and learn while keeping their answers ready. Such an approach ensures continuous intellectual growth. Further, I like to teach conceptual subjects, for example, electromagnetics at the undergraduate level, since I can see joy and satisfaction on faces of students for having understood difficult concepts. Why I can teach differently? While teaching, we should keep in mind that the same subject can be taught in different ways by different instructors. Shared learning or co-learning approach and other pedagogical techniques like flipped classroom can be effectively used. Everyone has a teacher within and we keep teaching others and learn from others since our childhood. Finally, why I enjoy teaching. You remain young by interacting with a fresh set of students every year. Teaching is one of the professions wherein one can experiment with different teaching methodologies and hence it can be a joyful activity. In addition to the satisfaction of having given knowledge, one can get new research ideas while teaching. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Ivan Graceff. I'm a senior lecturer from School of Engineering and Built Environment of Griffith University, Australia. In this video I would like to talk about why we teach. There are many academics in this world who may teach in all different ways, but in the end what we would like to do is to pass our knowledge and experience to our students. I think it's really important to share what we know with our students so that they can also learn from us and develop skills necessary for their future careers. Of course, sometimes it's very difficult to teach theory, especially if it's boring, and we would like to find different ways to do that. So what I would like to do in my class is to balance theory with practice. I would like to give my students more practical examples so that they can also develop some practical skills. In the laboratories, my students do some laboratory activities to develop hands-on experience. I think it's really important for their future as well. Another thing that I do in my classes is I show my students why it's actually important to learn this subject. Maybe especially if they're in the first or second years of their uni career, they probably don't find it really important because they think, well, it's only at the beginning of uni and then I have another 2 or 3 years to go. But by showing why they actually need to study my subject, by giving them practical examples, I would like to engage them more in the learning process and to give them more learning experience that they would like to have. So what I do, I will give them real projects so that they can see what real engineers will do in the industry. I think it's very important to show this link between the uni studies, theory, and what real engineers do in the industry. And another thing that I would like to talk about is assessment items. We know that the students study and learn things mostly because they need to do assessments, such exams or quizzes or things like that. So assessments actually drive the learning process. In my class, I would like to give my students assessment items that actually will help them develop practical skills, not just to test their theory. For example, like most of us will have final exams to maybe test the student's theory, but at the same time, do we really test what they know in final exams or not? So that's pretty questionable. So what I would like to do is I would like to use a project-based approach in my class when students don't really need to memorize the knowledge that they may not even use after they graduate. So I would like them to develop skills and practical skills that will help them in their future career. So when I give them a real project and ask them to work on this real project for the whole trimester, they will use the theory knowledge that they acquire in lectures and tutorials, and they will try to apply to solve real life problems. I think this is really important, and this is something that I've been doing for some time. Thanks, and have a nice day. Bye, everybody.
Today, I would like to talk about a topic, and this topic is why we teach. And it is a difficult topic. So actually, I would like to discuss this topic in terms of three more topics. Why we teach, the most straightforward way to interpret the topic is we want to make money, pay bills. But of course, it is not like straightforward. We have higher goal. And this higher goal, we can break down into three more topics. The first one, what we teach. And what we teach when I was young, and in that time, actually, I think I thought every student should have an ability to manipulate the complex mathematics. And we want them to solve a complicated EM problem and so on. But later on, when I grow up, when I become more senior, I figure out actually I just want the students to have a basic concept of how the wave propagates to stimulate to keep their interest in EM wave. That is what we would like to keep and what we would like to do. So what we teach actually should fit the desire and the requirement of the students, not to the teachers. The second question is where we teach. And then where we teach actually, it is not just in the classroom. It could be in the lab, could be in the meeting, could be in the project, and you're a project leader, and you are take this opportunity to teach the ideal and to share idea with the students anytime, anywhere you can teach. And also how we teach. Our next generation is more focused on visualization, and they are the fans of a YouTuber. So I would encourage the teachers become a YouTuber. So sort of YouTuber, of course, it's not a real YouTuber. If you become YouTuber, then the students will be your fans, and then you have an opportunity to make the students get involved, get more interested in your classroom, and to learn more. That is my opinion.